Okay, good evening YouTube viewers. Here I have a Galaxy Note SGHI 717 Rogers brand. I've been getting a really weird random reboot with this phone, and I thought maybe you guys would like to see what I figured out about this phone. This phone is about a year and a half old now. Just a little background. It's had a pretty hard life. I use it as a nav unit when I'm in the car. So it pretty much sits on the charger all the time. And pretty much since shortly after the Android 4.1.2 Jelly Bean update came out for this phone, I've been having a lot of problems with the battery life. And slowly started getting into random reboots, and then all of a sudden it's doing it 3 or 4 or 5 times a day. So I'm going to show you guys what I figured out with this phone. I figured out to be the battery is just no good anymore. I'm going to show you how I figured that out. Because most of my reboots only happen when there is a little bit low capacity on the phone. So what I'm going to do is, I got my Fluke multimeter here, and alligator clips, and I have these little adapters made up that I can stick in between the battery post and the phone. So I can actually measure directly off the battery and see what the voltage is in real time as the phone is operating. Now I'm going to try and do this. I'm going to put the camera down here for a second. So what we're going to do here is, you can see inside the phone, there's a couple of little gold terminals. I'm going to flip it upside down here. I'm going to very gently put the negative on the terminal closest to the inside. Let's see if we can do this without touching the other one, because that would be very disastrous. And then the positive terminal is going to go on the furthest one out. Now, if you look at our meter, 3.7 volts. Now, lithium-ion batteries at 3.78 is roughly 50%. The phone is actually showing about 35%, but let's keep in mind the phone is off. So I'm going to power it up now. I'm going to try and spin all this around so we can see both at the same time. Very gently spin all this around, grab the meter leads, and one of them moved. Okay, there we go. Okay, so we got the meter set up. We got the phone in my hand. I'm going to try and not kick the cables here with my feet. And I'm going to try and power up the phone. I'm going to put you guys down again for a second. Okay, the phone's going to power up. Oh, my lead came off again. 1 second. 1 second here. Get this back in there. Okay, so I finally got the pins in there to where they're going to stay. Phone is off. As you can see, we're showing about 3.8 volts, which for a lithium-ion battery is about half charge, 50%. The phone's showing about 32 when it's on, so I'm going to power the phone up right now, and we're going to see what's going on here. So I'm just going to hit the button here, power it up. Okay, there's the voltage on the meter. There's the phone powering up. So this meter is measuring right off the battery itself, in between the phone and the battery. And I've been getting a random reboot, usually when I try and start up Google Maps. It happens anywhere from about 75% charge and down. So let's see what happens when we power this up. You can see the voltage has already dropped off about 0.2. So this is showing about 35% charge on the meter. And now the battery gauge is saying 43 on the phone. But look at the voltage dropping right off. Let's give it a second to finish powering up here. You can see the voltage on the battery fluctuating as the CPU does its thing to get the phone running. Okay. Now you notice the screen flip. That's my ultimate rotation control doing that for me. So it should be able to see what's going on here. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to unlock the phone. Okay. Right around 3.2 volts, this thing will probably reboot like it's been doing. And usually when I open maps, you can see the voltage is dropping. 3.3 is actually really low. 3.3 is almost considered a safe cutoff for a lithium-ion battery. And you start hitting 3.2 now. .3. Let me clear out of this maps again. Oh, it's probably going to reboot here any second now. There it goes. And back up to 3.6, and it'll restart. Let's see if we can get it to do it once more. I've been trying to troubleshoot this for about 3 weeks now, figuring out why my phone just keeps rebooting on me. And it finally dawned on me one day, maybe the battery is starting to pack in. It still carries good capacity. It still runs most of the day. I just get these reboots. Every once in a while, it'll just keep rebooting, and then it'll just stop. I'll put it on charge and it'll just stop. And then I won't do it for a whole nother day. So let's see if we can get it to do it again. What kind of tipped me off was I tried doing a video call on Hangout. And every time I'd start the video call, it would just reboot. But as soon as I plugged it into the charger, it wouldn't reboot anymore. But before that, it wasn't really specific on the charger. Even with the charger plugged in, it would reboot every once in a while. So let's unlock the phone again once it flips over here. There it goes. As you can see, we're back down to 3.4, 3.3. Open up maps. 3.2. And it's going to reboot any second now. There it goes. So if you're having a reboot with your phone, I just ordered a battery today off eBay. It was $12 or something like that with shipping included. So it might be something worth checking into. I just ordered a battery, probably be 2 weeks before I get it. Then me discovering this could be the difference between keeping this phone or running out and buying a Note 3. So I think I might be keeping this one. Let's see if I can get it to do it once more here. One second, there's a cricket on the floor and I killed the little... Oh, he jumped away. Now, if I put this phone on charge, it'll probably stop rebooting. But like I mentioned before, anywhere from 70% and less, I would get the reboot just every once in a while. If I actually let the phone stabilize right now in its boot up, and let that voltage come up, it probably won't reboot in maps. So we'll try that. We'll give it a second to stabilize here. Hope the screen's not too shaky. I got the camera resting on my knee here. See, now the battery's saying 38%. It was 45 not more than 5 minutes ago. Okay, the voltage is starting to come up, so let's try opening something here and we'll see how quickly it reboots again. Well, here, look at perfect example. Here's my battery graph. This phone hasn't been on charge, and look at. Let me spread this map up a little bit here. It's saying we charged, and it hasn't been on charge. So I don't understand. Well, that's the battery for you right there. Doing that. So open maps again. Let's see if we can get to reboot right away, or if it's going to wait a minute, because we let it stabilize. Yeah, it went right away. So there you go. If you're getting random reboots, this could be your problem. I wouldn't recommend doing this because if you're not very, very careful, you could damage your battery or worse, your phone. If you're going to try it, be very, very careful. You don't want to short those out. And we'll do one more just for the heck of it here. So here we go, 3.5 volts. That should be about what the phone's reading, 35%. But when the voltage drops below 3.2, that's considered about 10% battery. 3 volts is 0. So it's showing lots of charge, but there's not enough to actually run the phone. The internal resistance of the battery's gone too high. I'll let this flip the screen back over again. Because I am holding the phone upside down. There we go. Open her up. They might even reboot right now, right from the home screen. Nope, stabilized. And once more. There it goes. Well, thanks for watching, and I hope this helps you with your reboot problem. Like I said, this phone's only about a year and a half old, and I guess it spent a lot of time on the charger, and it took the battery out in the process.